Ok, regarde. Daniel, c'est parti. Fais deux plans avant de partir. Carrément derrière l'ancêtre. Le son n'est peut-être pas, non? Pardon? Le son n'est pas, non? C'est ce qu'il a dit, le mec, pour l'instant, il avait baissé. Juste derrière l'enceinte, c'est vrai, oui.
Good evening, everyone. How have you guys been finding the business day, the AI Summit? You guys liked it? Yeah? I can't hear you. I'm not going to get people on this stage unless I can hear you. Well, this is the last sequence of the business day, and then we have the party, as you guys all know. And it's going to be really the best in class of AI. So I hope you guys are ready. To kick off the first sequence, I'd like us first to welcome CEO of Infiltrates, Nicolas Dufaux.
We are extremely happy to welcome you today with Roxane, with France Digital, with the magnificent team of Station F, BPI France, Festival for Entrepreneurs in France. We have found at this stage approximately 700 IA startups. We are shareholders of most of the beautiful names of the scene. We have committed 10 billion euros in IA in France in the next 5 years. It's a lot of money. It's going to be equity. It's going to be loans. It's going to be a lot of also consulting for SMEs. We want them to embark in AI. Why do we do that? Because for those of you who are saleswomen and salesmen, you know that now if you want to be fast, you need foils on your boats. IA is the foil, and it's the foil of everything. You could call it productivity. I would call it speed.
speed of everything, speed of development, speed of innovation, speed of progress, speed of improvement, speed of enhancement, speed of embetterment of the society. So that's where we are. Of course, it has its little dimension of danger sometimes. So we know that in a couple of years, I would say, Sam, we will welcome Sam just after. Probably one state out of two will have established a bit of an agency to sort of steer the massive developments of what we can do with IA. It's also something which is going to change a lot of sectors. I just give you an example, which is marketing. Marketing, 80% of it will be IA powered. And so people will have to change. And for those of you who are in AdTech, for example, I encourage you to change quite rapidly. We will be with you. So this is my short introduction, just a couple of directions, a lot of money, a lot of means, a lot of optimism around all that, a lot of determination. So you're going to have a couple of roundtables. The first one being with Clara and the excellent Sam, who's on scene, and we are honored of his presence today. You can applaud him. Thank you.
Thank you. That's just
We are live on the TV, Bob. That's one small step.
Summarize this art. Help me practice asking for a raise. What bird is this? Actúa como mi tutor.
share my ideas with business time.
What do you want to create next?
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hi, Sam. Thanks for being with us in Paris today.
Thank you so much for having me.
I see you're wearing a little red rooster. It's going to make a lot of people from the French tech community really happy, I think. But tell me, are you a cat or a dog person?
I like both, but I would prefer a dog.
We love cats in France.
I love cats too.
We love cats. So I asked Le Chat to help me with the first question in this interview. Le Chat is Mistral's new model. You know Arthur very well, I think.
Arthur's great.
So I asked him to come up with an interesting, fun question for you. Let's start with that. What film, movie, or personal experience influenced your vision of tech?
The first thing this is a more recent film, but I so strongly recommend it. Apollo 11 is like one of the most inspirational movies for tech and doing hard engineering projects and discovering science I've ever seen. I super strongly recommend it.
Great. Thanks for the advice. I love this movie too. Okay, so you're talking about Apollo 11 and the future of tech. We're obviously at the moment where everything accelerates so fast when it comes to AI. We hear you talk a lot about AGI. Can you tell us a little bit more about what's your vision, how AI is developing at the moment?
You know, for a long time, I tried to stop using the word AGI because I think it, at this point, means something different to everybody or several things to the same people, but it's just like so deep in there that I have not been able to stop using it. At this point, I think most people use it to mean like really strong, powerful AI systems. And we're clearly making fast progress. So I think you can argue about different definitions and then different times of when we'll get there. But if you look at what the systems are capable of today versus what they were capable of 2 years ago and project that forward even 2 more years, to say nothing of 4 or 6, this is like really quite something. We launched something called Deep Research. We lost track of time. I think it was like a week ago. And you know, that's like a model that I think is capable of doing like a low single digit percentage of all of the tasks in the economy in the world right now, which is a crazy statement. And a year ago, I don't think something that people thought was going to be coming. So again, if you project that forward, it'll keep moving.
What are the next big milestones that you anticipate?
I am generally excited just to continue to push on the model's reasoning capability, the ability to use that to then go do hard, complex, long horizon agentic tasks. Agents that can write software engineers are one thing that we're particularly excited about. And then longer term, AI that can do science, I think will be one of the most important impacts. You know, if we can have an AI system that can write code, that certainly helps the world a lot. But if we have an agent that can go autonomously discover a cure for cancer or get fusion to work or discover new physics, like I think scientific progress is what drives the world to such a strong extent that that's a huge deal.
Would you say that the use cases that are exciting for you the most at the moment?
This is like a very general answer, but I realized over the last couple of months that I don't use a lot of services that I used to use. Like I don't do Google searches anymore, unless I'm like, there may be some very specific thing, but not that much.
They still have a big market share though.
For sure. There's like a lot of other tasks that I used to go somewhere else to do. And the fact that I can use ChatGPT as this sort of like general thing throughout the whole day and just have this like oracular system that can sort of do anything within reason, anything that I kind of need is like, we were not there a year ago. And the fact that we are there now, I've really noticed a shift in my own usage.
Completely. And what do you tell, I mean, we have a lot of people working in different businesses here, and obviously everyone talks about AI. When you ask our CEOs in France, like what's their top priority, 8 out of 10 would say implementing AI. But then when you look at like how actually gets implemented, only like 4 CEOs out of 10 have actually done the work and really implemented at scale. What's your advice to everyone trying to get in this race and you know, really get advantage from the technology?
I think there's, I mean, at least 2 really good directions to go on this. Vice President Vance said a lot of things that I really liked, but one of them, a point that he hit a few times, was just the scale of the economic opportunity. He used the phrase lightning in a bottle, and I really think it is this moment. I think it was like a great phrase, and it is this moment that I've never seen before. Maybe it was like this at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. Maybe it was like this at the beginning of the internet. But the economic impact this can have, you know, to go back to the deep research example, the idea that you have for 50 cents of compute, you can do like $500 or $5,000 of work. Companies that are implementing that to just be way more efficient, I think you'll see this in a big way with the software engineering agent. That's category 1, so companies can just run way better. People can do way more with way less. And then the second is building consumer-facing or business-facing products that use AI in this very fundamental way. And you know, ChatGPT is one example of that. A lot of other companies have done great stuff there. I think people should be imagining more than they are. I think a lot of people are still thinking about like last year's AI, which was just much more limited. And what you can do now is like really quite remarkable.
And how do you start when you're like looking at all those tools and you don't necessarily know where to go?
So before doing this, I used to be a startup investor. I ran this firm called Y Combinator. And the kind of people would ask versions of this question all the time. You know, what should I build? What should I do with my company? What product should I go? Like, how do I? And I think that's a question you should never take someone else's advice on. Startups succeed to the idea they do something that like no one has quite figured out before. Maybe no one's thought of before, no one's executed well before. But I always encourage people to trust their own instincts and not take someone else's advice there.
I think it's a great advice. So we're in France. You've opened an office in France like not so long ago. And you've also written an amazing piece in one of our newspapers talking about how France is really great. We're grateful to that. Can you tell us more about like how you're thinking about France and the AI ecosystem here? And I know you've just returned from London. Maybe a comparison between the ecosystems would also be helpful.
Speaking of how I use ChatGPT and working on that piece, it is so good at translation, I think, relative to any other thing I've ever used before.
I didn't use ChatGPT to translate, by the way.
You didn't? No. Okay. Well, if you do, you know, we'll make it better and better. Look, I used to I've been here to Station F many times, and back in my Y Combinator days, I always used to particularly love coming here. We had a special relationship with France. We funded many great French entrepreneurs, and obviously France has got a long history of incredible engineering. I think it's so cool that like there's one country that makes airplanes and trains and nuclear power plants and all of these things that are so core to the vision of the future and does it so well. So I think it's just always special in Paris. London is great too. I had a wonderful time there. But the sort of the engineering talent, the entrepreneurial spirit here, the belief in energy, which I think is going to become super important as we continue on this AI journey. Like France has got a lot of advantages.
What's your plan with the office in Paris?
We'd like to expand it a lot. Again, speaking of French talent, we have many great French researchers at OpenAI. There are many others that live here that we would love to contribute to OpenAI. So I think we'll have a great office here.
Great. So lot to interesting opportunities for people here. Okay, Sam, I can't conclude this interview without asking you this question that you've probably heard all day. Is OpenAI for sale?
No. OpenAI has a mission. We are an unusual organization, and we have this mission of making AGI benefit all of humanity. And we are here to do that. We are not for sale.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you all.
All right. Thank you, Sam, and please come back soon. All right, so you guys got a chance to hear about how AI is accelerating and how OpenAI is not for sale. The next talk is going to be a little bit more of a scientific and research perspective. We're going to talk about challenges. We're going to take a step back and also look at where AI is headed. Maybe we'll also hear a little bit about what Meta has plans. Who knows? So you guys should know by now who I'm talking about. The one and only Yann Lequin.
you.